Welcome back. In this video we'll be talking about Azure Bastion, so let's go ahead and start. So for this I've created a resource group called RDP Bastion RG, so click that, and these are different resources that has been created. So let me show you how this is done. Initially I have created a virtual network, so let's search for virtual network and click the virtual network, click create, and make sure you select the one that you have created, in which it's RDP Bastion and virtual network. So we need one. Since it's already there, I'll just add one more one, and make sure it's enable Azure Bastion. And if you see, there was an error here. So if you click here, we have to add this subnet inside this virtual network to enable that Bastion service. So click add subnet, and you see here we have default. So instead of that default, add Azure Bastion and click add. So this is how you have to add the subnet, and once this is done, you can just review and create it. So that is how I have created my virtual network. So let's go back. Once the virtual network has been created, the next step is creating the virtual machine. So for that, let's search for the virtual machine and click virtual machine and click create. So it's a similar process that we have done before. So it's let's add it as VM1. So it's already there. Since I'll be adding one more, since we are dealing with East US, I'll be adding East US, and coming to the image, I'll be using 29 data center, and make sure you use your username and password here, and don't forget that because we need it in the further sections. So here I'll be keeping none, since we are using Azure Bastion. We'll be using none, and let's go to the next section, and let's everything be the default. So don't need to set up anything, and you can just go to review and create, and then create it. So we got a validation error. Okay, since we have not used our username and password, so you just need to use your username and password, and it will be done for you. So once this is done, let me show you the architecture of this particular resource group. So this is what we have created. So coming to we have created a virtual machine and virtual network. So when we have created this virtual network, we have created a subnet in which we are using this Azure Bastion. So this is done. So using this service, we'll be trying to access our virtual machine. So let's go to our VM1, and here let's go to connect, and you see we have different options. So here we'll be using Azure Bastion, so let's click that. So basically it's a service that provides a secure and seamless way to access virtual machines in Microsoft Azure. It eliminates the need of a public IP address or VPN connection, providing a more secure way to access your VMs. With Azure Bastion, you can connect to your VMs from anywhere with just a web browser, and you don't need to install any client software. It simplifies connectivity and centralized management, and reduce the cost of managing remote access. So it's a secure way to access your VMs. So you see, this is what we have created just before. So I'll be using my username and password Azure, and you can see we were able to connect to our virtual machine that we have created. So if there are any blockers, make sure that you remove it so that you can access your VM. So successfully we were able to access our VM. Let's say there is other VM which is in other network. So if I go back to the resource group, so I have created other resource group which is in West US2. So if I click here, I have similar structure. So if I go to the visualizer, you see my VM is in VM2 VNet. So this is what the architecture of this resource group 2 is. So let's try to connect with this VM2. So we were able to connect with VM1, but let's see if we can connect to VM2. So obviously we will be not able to connect with VM2 since there is no Azure Bastion associated with that. So here comes the peering concept. So if I go here and let's click our VM. So if you connect with Bastion, you see we have nothing. We don't have anything to connect with this Azure Bastion. So for that, let's go back let's go back to our resource group 1 and let's click our VNet 1, and here you can see there is a concept called peering, which we have already talked about. So click this and click add. So it's VNet 1 to VNet, just a second, yeah, VNet 1 to VNet, it's VM VNet 2. So remote machine is VNet VM to VNet to VNet 1. So it's done. You can also add the virtual network which is out of your subscription. Just okay, you just need to add your resource group there. So if I click here, so if you can see here, if you know any resource ID, you can just add those resource ID and you can add that network. So coming to this one, it's VM2 VNet, which is the second one, and coming to the first, I think everything is done appropriately. So let's click add. One peering are unable to connect to all the address spaces in the virtual network must be synced. You must contribute access to the peering virtual network to sync the virtual network. Okay, so it's done. If I go back to VNet 2 and if I search for where is VM VNet peering, refresh, yeah, it's done and it's connected. So similarly, if I go to the my virtual machine, let's try to connect with Bastion and let's try to refresh that. Now you can see for this VM2 initially we have not seen this. So there's a new page that has been arrived in which we are using the same VNet Bastion that we have used for VNet 1, and you can just use your username and password. So it is done. So you're able to access the VM2 as well since you have used peering concept. So I was just reading in the Azure docs, so you can see here using this Bastion, you can connect to this virtual machines which are inside the network, or you can also connect with other machines which are in other network, but you have to have this VNet peering concept. So once this is, so yeah, coming to this video, I hope you guys understood the concept of Azure Bastion. If you have liked the video, please click the like button below, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and please share the video. Thanks everyone.